8-year-old me always wanted to be a fashion designer living in Brooklyn, but I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. And when you're raised in something that structured, it's hard to imagine a life beyond it, even the good kind. I really meant for this to be a regular weekend vlog, but as I edited and watched everything back, I realized that I'm actually living the life I dreamed about when I was a little girl. Time to wake up.
Is it?
It's Friday.
It's almost my birthday.
Yes, it's almost your birthday. I'm sure they definitely heard you whisper.
It's in 2 days.
Hey, if you're new here, my name is Michaela and I am a wife, mom of 2, and fashion designer living in Brooklyn, New York. I share a few things on my channel, generally fashion or entrepreneurship related, but today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing something I have yet to share anywhere else, and that is what my life was like growing up as a Jehovah's Witness and how still, even at 49 years old and having left over 25 years ago, there are some things that affect me to this day. Now, I was born and raised in the religion, meaning I knew nothing else. Although my dad was agnostic and it was only my mom who was a Jehovah's Witness, my dad never really protested or kept her from taking my brothers and me to meetings. And that's what their services are called, not church. They are meetings held at a kingdom hall. And we were there 3 times a week for a total of 5 meetings, 2 on Sunday, 1 on Tuesday night, and 2 on Thursday night. It was a very rigid structure to keep you focused on the religion at all times. And honestly, it just became my normal. We had no friends outside of the religion because we weren't allowed to. So everyone I spent time with was on the same or similar schedule of 5 meetings a week. Come on, Elle, we're gonna make this light. And I have to say, from my recollection, I had a pretty good childhood. I'm not sharing this to bash the religion or to convince anyone to leave. It's more about just sharing my lived experience. And I know that experiences could differ from congregation to congregation, state to state, and even country to country.
Yay!
So the girl has been dropped off. The boy left early and he likes to go to school on his own early so he can play soccer in the yard. Now I'm headed back home because I gotta meet Dre. We're going to my office to record some content together. And then I have an event to go to. So that is my day, trying to rush back home so I can get myself together and we can get out in good time to get everything done that we need to get done. Now that I have my family of my own, it makes me reflect and think about what my childhood was like, what my home life was like, and while I know my parents loved and cared for each other, I don't remember feeling like they were in love. And I don't know if it had anything to do with my mother's involvement in the religion, but I do know that I did not want my marriage to look or feel like that. I wanted my kids to visibly see and feel that we love each other very much. I will say, though, that even though they had opposing beliefs, I know that they both deeply cared about values, and I always felt loved, I always felt protected, and felt guided by both of them, which is truly a blessing. But something that really stands out to me from my childhood is how much time we spent with family. In most Jehovah's Witness families, you're isolated from anyone who isn't part of the organization. My father was not having that. He was very much a man who loved his family. So we visited aunts and uncles, grandparents, cousins, great aunts and uncles, anyone in between every single year on both sides. Outside of the family, however, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't really allowed to have many friends who weren't a part of the organization. Thankfully, though, my mom had a lot of friends both inside and outside of our congregation, many of whom had kids my age or close, so I always had like built-in friends. But I will say there are so many messages that you absorb when you grow up in a religion like this, and when you go through life only seeing everything through one lens.
Yes, now we're eating. Yeah, we were telling you guys on the bus. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, don't worry, they're gonna hype you up later.
Thank you. Let's do it one more time.
I see you.
Thank you.
And sometimes it can take years for you to even recognize that you have this certain lens, and to unlearn and deprogram yourself from all of these messages that you've been hearing day in and day out for years. And there are some things I'm still learning about myself 20 something years later that affected me and still affect me now because of having grown up as a Jehovah's Witness. All right, we got all our content filmed. I don't know if you can even hear me, but I'm on my way to my event. I'm gonna take the subway there and then an Uber back because they gave me an Uber code. Actually wearing heels today, y'all. Heels out, which is crazy. Like anyone not a part of the organization, not in the religion, was a bad person, they're a bad association. You cannot hang out with them. You cannot spend time with them. And then especially people who were a part of the religion and left. Oh no, absolutely not. You cannot even talk to these people. It was really drilled into us that anybody who left was like lost and doomed to struggle, and they're gonna be on drugs and have tons of babies out of wedlock. Like just all of these scary things as a kid that you hear are going to happen to you if you leave this particular religion. Because, they're the only ones that have the truth, and everyone else is doomed to die, basically. So from a very young age, you have this fear of disappointing God and disappointing your mom. Well, me, disappointing my mom, the congregation, people in the congregation. You have a fear of being on the wrong side because at any moment, if you think the wrong thing, if you say the wrong thing, if you do the wrong thing, you could be struck down if that is the moment that Armageddon strikes. And for me, that manifested itself in never feeling worthy or good enough because I never did enough. There was always something else that I needed to do or something more. I never knew enough. I didn't read all the publications or know all the scriptures.
This is a please bound at local train. The Enforced Square. The next stop is Airport Square.
Because there's this idea that like, if you're not devoting all of your extra time and all of your energy to Jehovah and to the organization, then you're kind of like on the outskirts. It's almost like a competition of who can who can get baptized first and who can spend the most hours out in field service. And that's like the preaching work where people come and knock on your door. But honestly, none of it ever really stuck in my head. Like, I remember thinking as a child, like, why can we go tell people about what we believe, but we're not allowed to learn anything else? Like, if this is the truth and this is, God's true religion, then why is it that we can't learn about anything else so that we can talk to other people about why this is the one true religion? So yeah, I didn't really enjoy going out in field service, but it was a requirement for us. So I would get around it by going out with people who were pioneers, and they had to spend 90 plus hours out in field service, like out going door to door and talking to people. And they loved going up to doors. They really enjoyed it. So I would just go with them and they would take all the doors. Or I would just go to the door and pretend to press the doorbell and didn't really do it. I honestly did it the least amount of hours needed because I did not enjoy it at all. And, imagine getting rejected from a very early age. you're 7, 8 sometimes going up to these doors, and people are either not answering or closing the door in your face, or saying something rude. A lot of times they don't say anything rude to children, but as you grow up, they can get a little more rude. So imagine this constant rejection all the time and what that does to your psyche. And it really stays with you. Like, I was talking to a couple of my brothers. I have 5, but I was talking to 2 of my brothers, and we were all talking about how we struggle with talking to people sometimes in one-on-one situations, how we either get choked up and, don't know what to say, get nervous, sweaty, whatever it is. And then also, we all have our own separate businesses. And talking about those businesses in a way where we're like, actually selling has been really, really difficult for all of us. And we realized that we could trace it back to this constant rejection that we experienced over and over and over again. But I'm getting better at it, especially now knowing why that block is there. And I also want to talk about this moment you're seeing on your screen right now. So I was invited to the e.l.f. offices to learn about Keys Soul Care, which is Alicia Keys' skincare line. And when I initially got the invite, first I thought, why me? Because I'm not much of a beauty creator. I always kind of downplay myself and what I've done and what I can do. I'm getting better, please bear with me here. But I was dreading it because I was under the impression that it was going to be this event with lots of people, and I'd have to figure out how to talk to people and not stand in the corner by myself, which is what I usually do. But I was very pleasantly surprised that it was just 3 of us there with the team, and very intimate, and I just really enjoyed learning about the products in this type of setting. It felt way more comfortable for me. Not to mention, they also took us into the beauty closet where we got to kind of pick all of the e.l.f. products that we wanted to try, which was amazing. But anyway, I mentioned all of this because I often feel unworthy of experiences or unworthy of people's time or energy because of it being drilled into us that we're undeserving of God's love. We're unworthy, especially if you're not devoting all of your time and all of your energy to the organization. And when I tell you I am just learning all of this stuff about myself in my 40s, which is wild to me. And in addition to that, there were so many experiences that I missed out on growing up because things just weren't allowed. So obviously we didn't celebrate any holidays. My dad was not having the no Christmas thing, so he always bought us Christmas gifts, but we couldn't celebrate birthdays or Mother's Day or any of those things like that. So if there was ever a class holiday celebration or a birthday celebration, I had to go sit in the library because I wasn't allowed to participate in any of it. Elle's birthday party is on Sunday, in 2 days. And that did feel really lonely in a school setting because there were no other Jehovah's Witness kids in my school at all, definitely not in my grade. But that is a feeling my kids will never have to experience in that way because we celebrate them and we allow them to celebrate however they want to. Ooh. So I got little spa kits for the girls. And it's got a scrunchie,
So cute.
satin scrunchies. Got little face masks and little bags.
Cute.
So adorable. And then stickers so the girls can decorate their own
Baggy.
bags. I actually didn't really celebrate my own birthday until I was in my 30s, just because of the shame and the guilt surrounded by celebrating yourself. It was weird. I also got this for cupcakes. I'm going to be making her birthday cupcakes, so this is going to be to decorate the cupcakes.
Ooh! Yummy.
Lip gloss making kits. Lip gloss, lip balm.
And what are mood? Oh.
Those are the stickers for the bags. We got stickers so we can put everybody's names on the bags. And then we got some little Hershey's. These are Elle's favorite candies. Even now, I find that I have to force myself to celebrate the things that I've accomplished, to celebrate my wins, because it's something that we weren't taught to do. You really only celebrate it if you go above and beyond for Jehovah or for the organization, and I never did. So this is me on a call with 3 of my entrepreneur girlfriends, and we just celebrate each other and we hype each other up and we give each other encouragement, and it's really needed. Hello. What are we up to this morning?
We're going to go shopping for decorations.
No, not for decorations. For food.
Oh! Everything's good.
Okay. One of the other major things that I feel like I missed out on was the college experience. I wanted so badly to go to an HBCU. As somebody who was obsessed with a different world, I wanted so badly to have that same experience, or even like anywhere. I wanted to go anywhere. And it just was not allowed for us. I remember very distinctly asking my mom if I could go away. I had a couple colleges in mind. I had secretly taken my ACT, and my dad was ready to pay for it, but she was not having it. And I was really, really disappointed that I didn't have that experience. I mean, even to this day, I'm disappointed that I did not get to go away to college and experience that life. But both of my brothers did get to go away to college, and they basically left the organization when they left for college. And that's basically when I felt more responsibility on me, like I was carrying the family legacy on me because everyone else was gone. It was just me and my mom left, and I didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to disappoint her, so I felt like I had to be the one to carry it on. And that's a lot for a 14-year-old to feel like they have to carry. And not to mention, your entire life is centered around the organization. So all of my friends, all of the activities, everything we did was centered around being a Jehovah's Witness. And when you have so much fear around leaving and the expectation that your life would just completely fall apart, and the guilt and the anxiety of feeling like you've made the wrong choice, of choosing the wrong path, it kind of, you just stay, even if it doesn't feel aligned with who you are. And that was kind of my life for several years until I was about 22, when I decided to move out on my own with a couple of my friends who were also Jehovah's Witnesses. We were all kind of drifting out at the same time, just not feeling connected to any of it. And we decided to move out into our own apartment, and we kind of had our own college experience living together. There was no like traumatic experience or drama or anything that made us leave. We just drifted out of it because it didn't feel aligned with who we were at the time, or even who we were becoming. There was no like dramatic exit or no kind of rebellion or anything like that. I mean, we partied and we had a good time, but we were still the same kind, loving people that we were raised to be, and still are, because I'm still friends with them today. I didn't lose my morals when I stopped going to the Kingdom Hall. I'm still a good person. I married a good person. We're raising good humans. And I show up for my family and my friends and my community with the same kind-heartedness that I was raised with. It's very possible to still believe in God and still live in gratitude and act with intention and live with purpose without it being attached to a name of a specific religion or a set of ideologies. All this to say that no, my childhood wasn't perfect, but I have some really great memories. And yes, I would have appreciated maybe having a little bit more freedom and being able to make friends with people at school and go to their birthday parties and go to college and things like that. And maybe not be conditioned to feel certain things and to feel unworthy and to feel like I can't really celebrate myself. But I'm working through those things now. Thank God I realized and recognized what I had been taught and how I can make changes, and I'm doing that now. It's possible to honor where I came from while also evolving into someone new.
Okay, so hello, welcome to Elle's baking show. So today we're gonna be making cupcakes for my birthday, and Mother makes me put on like a birthday thing above my head. Okay, anyways, so we're starting to put like not better the flour into there. Then there's also gonna be chocolate, right, Mother?
Correct.
By the way, she's my assistant.
It's not necessary for me to villainize my past in order to grow. And that's something I've learned with time and with honesty, with age. For a long time, I thought growth meant rejecting what came before it. Like, in order to move forward, I have to be angry or disappointed or hurt. But the truth is, I don't have to feel that way. I can look back at my childhood and see love. I can see parents who care deeply about raising good humans. I can see structure and community and intention, even if it wasn't something I was meant to stay inside of forever. And I think that's the part we don't talk about enough, that sometimes you don't leave because everything is just bad. You leave because something no longer fits who you're becoming. As I've gotten older, I've spent a lot of time connecting the dots between how I was raised and the things I still struggle with as an adult. Like the way I question myself and my worth, how I sometimes feel responsible for other people's feelings, and the way I've had to unlearn the idea that worth is tied to being good or approved or in alignment with someone else's expectations. And instead of judging those parts of me now, I try my best to meet them with compassion. Because, it makes sense. They didn't come out of nowhere. They come from a younger version of me who was trying to do the right thing, who just wanted to be loved and wanted to make her mom proud. The younger version of me who believed that being good meant staying small and obedient and agreeable. I didn't leave in anger. There wasn't some big moment where everything suddenly became clear. It was so much quieter than that. It was not wanting to get up and go to meetings and not wanting to spend my evenings and my weekends structured around something that just didn't make sense for me. I just wanted to live and explore and just be a regular 22-year-old. Good night.
You know,
When you wake up, it'll be your birthday.
no, actually, when it's 12, it'll be my birthday.
Good night.
Good night.
Love you.
Tomorrow, I'm the birthday boss.
Bye. We'll see about that. I was so lucky to have my friends with me because we were outgrowing it at the same time, and that made it so much easier. It made it feel less like a rebellion and more like an unfolding. And now, years later, I can see just how gentle that whole transition was. And listen, if you want the dramatic stories, there are plenty of them out there. This just isn't it.
Yay!
Okay, birthday party morning, and she's up, obviously. I'm gonna start frosting these cupcakes. Then I'm gonna just sweep them up a little bit and make the waffles. We're having a birthday brunch party, so I already prepared, let me show you, waffle mix, and I just kind of put plastic over it. These are all homemade, so from scratch. Oh, here she is, the birthday girl in her cute fit. With her hair looking crazy, but she's cute. So I got this from Amazon because I'm really bad with cupcake decoration. So I thought this would be helpful because the thing stays on. You just kind of put this on the top. You just squeeze this out onto the cupcake. Let's see, yeah, and we'll see how this works. Oh, not bad. You can have milk. Not bad. Those fingers go like this. And this goes on top.
Is that as wide as your arms go? Your hand. Can you spread?
Push it.
Is this my cupcake?
Sure, that's the one. For anyone who may be questioning and you don't even know what that means yet, or maybe you've already left, I want you to know this. You are not a bad person for choosing your own life. You're not selfish for wanting more freedom, and you are definitely not ungrateful for evolving. And I know that my experience is very unique to me, and there are definitely people who have gone through traumatic events and who had to leave in a rush, or there was, a dramatic event that made them have to leave the organization. And my experience definitely does not negate any of that, rather just gives a different perspective from a different experience. It's possible to honor where you came from and still choose differently. I have been able to keep the values that matter most to me and release the parts that no longer fit. I am allowed to be whole. You are allowed to be whole with all of your history and all of the questions that you've had, with the whole new life that you're building now. Maybe that wholeness looks like something really simple, like a quiet Sunday morning. Like me, I'm making waffles for my daughter's birthday party, doing things that I once was not even allowed to do. And it's not out of rebellion, but just out of joy. And this is what freedom looks like to me now. So that's all I have today. If you have any questions or want to start a respectful conversation, leave it in the comments below and we can chat. So as a final note, I do want to say that I probably could have said a lot more, but I wanted to do this in the most respectful way possible because I have family that is still involved in the organization, and I love and respect them. So I wanted to respect their beliefs, and I have no anger, so I have no need to add any sort of anger or bashing to this video, even though obviously there are some not so great and sometimes terrible things that happen within the organization. That wasn't what this is about. It's more about me, my experience, and how my experience has affected my life, has shaped who I am, and what I'm doing to overcome that. So again, if you want to start a respectful conversation, I'm happy to do that in the comments. And if there's anything else you want to know or want to learn about, I'm happy to share that as well. Let me know and maybe I'll share another video. So thank you for watching and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.